AM Cinema presents two mysterious, scary stories. Subscribe and enjoy. It was a moonless night, the kind that wraps the world in an inky shroud, obscuring everything in a veil of darkness. I'd always enjoyed taking late-night walks. There was something peaceful about the solitude and the quiet. But tonight, as I strolled down the deserted path that led through the woods, a sense of unease began to gnaw at the edges of my mind. I told myself it was just my imagination, playing tricks on me in the dim light cast by the distant street lamps. Still, the rustling of leaves and the faint whispers of the wind seemed to grow louder, as if the very shadows were trying to tell me something. My heart quickened its pace, but I tried to convince myself it was just the excitement of a spooky walk. As I ventured deeper into the woods, I noticed a flickering light in the distance. Curiosity got the better of me, and I followed the glow. The light led me to an old abandoned cabin that stood like a decaying relic among the trees. I hesitated, but something drew me closer, an irresistible pull that I couldn't resist. As I approached, the whispers became more distinct, almost as if they were calling out to me. "Come inside," they seemed to say, their voices soft and eerie. My heart pounded in my chest, but I couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. I cautiously pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. The interior was dimly lit by a single flickering candle, its flame dancing as if possessed by an unseen force. The air was heavy with dust and the scent of decay, and I could feel the weight of the cabin's history bearing down on me. The whispers grew louder, now forming words that echoed in the confines of the room. "Leave now," they warned, their tone desperate and pleading. But the pull was too strong, and I found myself drawn further inside, deeper into the darkness of the cabin. The walls seemed to close in around me, and a sense of dread settled in the pit of my stomach. As I explored the rooms, I discovered old photographs scattered on the floor, their faces worn and faded with time. They depicted a family, happy and smiling, but something about their eyes seemed off, as if hiding a terrible secret. I shuddered, feeling as though their gazes followed me wherever I went. In the corner of one room, I noticed a journal resting on a dusty shelf. My curiosity got the better of me, and I reached for it. As I opened the pages, the handwriting revealed a tale of tragedy and sorrow. The family that once lived here had suffered a terrible fate, and their restless spirits were said to haunt the cabin, seeking solace in the afterlife. The whispers intensified, their voices now urgent and fearful. "Run," they urged, but I couldn't tear my eyes away from the journal. I had to know more, to understand the dark secrets that clung to this place like a shroud. The sound of footsteps echoed through the cabin, and a cold chill crawled up my spine. I turned to find a figure standing in the doorway, their face obscured by the darkness. Panic surged within me, and I stumbled backward, dropping the journal. "Leave this place," the figure hissed, their voice a haunting echo in the empty room. "You do not belong here." Terror finally overpowered my curiosity, and I bolted toward the exit, desperate to escape the malevolence that hung heavy in the air. The whispers followed me, their words blending with the pounding of my heart. The cabin seemed to come alive, its walls groaning and the floorboards creaking with each step I took. I burst out of the cabin, the night air hitting me like a blast of icy wind. The whispers faded as I put distance between myself and the cursed dwelling. My breaths came in ragged gasps, and I stumbled back onto the path, my heart still racing. I continued my walk, haunted by the events of that night. The darkness of the woods no longer felt peaceful, but suffocating. And though the cabin was now far behind me, I knew its secrets would forever haunt my dreams. Some mysteries were best left undisturbed, and some paths were meant to be avoided. From that night on, I never took another late-night walk. The memory of the whispering shadows would forever be etched in my mind, a chilling reminder that some terrors were not meant to be uncovered. As the full moon's pale light spilled through the treetops, I stood frozen in front of the imposing building. The once grand hospital now lay in ruin, its shattered windows staring back at me like hollow eyes. Weeds and vines clung to its decaying facade, as if nature itself had reclaimed this place from the grasp of time. But I couldn't resist the urge to explore its dark secrets. I had always been drawn to abandoned places, but this one held a unique allure. The rumors surrounding the old asylum were legendary, stories of unspeakable horrors, twisted experiments, and the souls of the damned trapped within its walls. As I stepped closer, a gust of wind sent a chill down my spine, and I hesitated for a moment, wondering if I should turn back. But curiosity and the thrill of the unknown urged me onward. Pushing open the rusted gates, a creak echoed through the silent night. The hospital's interior was a maze of crumbling hallways and broken furniture. Dust hung thick in the air, and the smell of decay mingled with the mustiness of neglect. My flashlight's beam flickered, casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. As I ventured deeper, I noticed strange markings on the walls, a mix of cryptic symbols and chilling messages. My heart quickened, but I reminded myself that they were likely just graffiti left by thrill-seekers like me. Still, an unsettling feeling gnawed at me, as if unseen eyes were watching my every move. Descending a dark staircase, I found myself in the bowels of the asylum, a labyrinth of dank, dimly lit corridors. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread washed over me. I couldn't help but wonder what kind of suffering had unfolded within these walls. My flashlight flickered again, and I cursed myself for not bringing spare batteries. I needed to be quick. I pressed on, my footsteps echoing in the empty halls. In one room, I stumbled upon old medical equipment, rusty surgical tools, and dusty examination tables. The realization that countless lives had been forever altered here sent shivers down my spine. A sudden noise from above startled me, and my heart raced. I held my breath, listening intently, but the silence returned. I tried to shake off my unease and continued my exploration, determined to uncover the truth behind the asylum's grim history. In a distant corner of the building, I discovered a hidden door partially obscured by debris. I could feel an inexplicable pull towards it, as if something wanted me to open it. Hesitant but unable to resist, I pushed the door open, revealing a narrow staircase leading downward into darkness. My flashlight barely penetrated the blackness, but my curiosity was now relentless. Each step I took echoed in the confined space, and a sense of foreboding gnawed at my mind. Finally, I reached the bottom, and my flashlight revealed an underground chamber, a sinister sight that left me breathless. Rows of iron cages lined the walls, each containing a decaying, twisted figure. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized that these were not mannequins or props. They were human remains, victims of unimaginable cruelty. Fear gripped me, and I turned to leave, only to find the door had shut behind me, trapping me in this nightmarish chamber. Panic set in as I frantically pushed and pulled at the door, but it remained sealed shut. The air grew thick with an oppressive presence, and I felt an icy breath on the back of my neck. In the dim light, I could make out a flicker of movement. The once lifeless shapes inside the cages began to stir, their twisted bodies jerking with unnatural motion. Dread washed over me as they turned their hollow eyes toward me, a chorus of low, guttural moans escaping their decaying lips. Terrified and desperate to escape, I mustered the last of my strength and threw myself against the door, finally managing to pry it open. Bursting out into the darkness, I ran as if my life depended on it, feeling the malevolent presence of the asylum trying to keep me within its grasp. As I stumbled out into the moonlit night, I vowed never to return to that accursed place. But the horrors I witnessed there would haunt my dreams forever, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks within the abandoned asylum. And so, the asylum's secrets remain buried, known only to the lost souls trapped within its crumbling walls.